folks, welcome to the preparedhomestead.com. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Are you folks really getting ready? Have you kind of wrapped your head around what's happening around the world and how it's heating up everywhere? How the intensity, do you feel it? Do you see it? Do you sense it? I know most of you do. Some of you just kind of, I don't know, you're out there somewhere, right? But I'm telling you folks, you need to start taking things serious. I'm not telling you that you need to be obsessed with it, but you certainly need to make it a very high priority in your life and take things serious, because the world's changing pretty rapidly and not in a good way. There's another YouTube channel out there, a guy that says this often, and I completely agree with it. He says, "You are hated, train like it." That's exactly what we should be thinking about. That's exactly the mindset we should be in. You and I, folks like us, people that believe like we do, people that live like we do, people that think, that have the moral compass that we do. As radical as it may sound to say this, as extreme as it may sound to say it, it is actually very true. Folks like you and I, we are hated. We are absolutely hated. And we need to act like that. We need to realize that there are certain people on this planet and certain people in this country, not all of them, but definitely a certain amount of them, that they hate you and I. They hate folks like us. They hate how we believe. And we need to act like that. We need to react like that. We need to be training as if we are hated, because we are. We need to be prepping as if we are hated, because we are. We need to be training our mind, training our heart, getting our spiritual walk with God the Father in line where it should be, because we are hated. The Bible even says that. It even says that we will be hated because, well, they hate Him. This is nothing new, but unfortunately, too many people, they don't wrap their heads around it. They want to believe that maybe there's still some more time. There's still a lot of goodness. There's still more of us than there are of them. And that it's quite possible that in the end, like, the good side's just going to prevail. Well, it is in the end, to be technical, but not in the way that most people think. There's going to be a lot of chaos and a lot of destruction that's going to happen before we get to that good guys winning part. And we're told that we have to endure to the end. And I'm telling you folks, you need to be acting like it. You need to be taking it serious. Whether it's in your preparations, physical, whether it's how you're handling your own body, you know? Are you in shape? Are you in better shape than you were last year? Are you working towards goals to get yourself in better shape? Because if you're sitting there saying that, well, I'm going to protect my home and I'm going to provide for my home and I'm going to take care of things when it all falls apart, if you're not in the physical condition to do that, then what's your plan? Are you training? Or are you actively training? And I'm not asking you if you had training 30 years ago. I'm asking you, are you training now? I mean, it's great that you got a good foundation 20, 30, 40 years ago, maybe Uncle Sam training. That's great. But when's the last time you done it? When's the last time you put your ruck on and you went off in the woods for several miles? When's the last time you did drills, high-speed drills, meaning that it gets your blood pumping, you're breathing heavy, you're moving hard? When's the last time you done that? When's the last time you actually did something on your own, fixed something, repaired something, went out and cut trees down, chopped up wood? A lot of you do it all the time. But for those of you that are telling yourself that when things get rough, when things fall apart, that's what I'll start doing. If you're not doing it now and you're not conditioning your body and your mind to doing those things, then you're kind of failing at it. We need to act like we're hated. We need to act like the world is falling apart, because the reality is that, well, it is falling apart. We are hated. They are trying to change our way of life. They are trying to force us into all of this reset, new world order, satanic whatever thing that they're doing. And too many people are sitting around and they're complaining about it, They're watching videos like this about it. They're talking to their friends about it, but they're not really doing anything about it. And that's something that even myself, I have to keep myself in check on that. Am I spending too much time seeing what's going on out there? Am I spending too much time talking about what we should be doing versus how much time am I spending of actually doing the thing? And that's something that we need to be aware of constantly, and not to get wrapped up in, oh, the sky is falling, the world's ending, it's bad, let's talk about it. Let's talk about what we're going to do when it all comes to an end. You need to be doing that stuff now. It doesn't need to be the thing that gets you by. I mean, if you still have other sources of heat in your home, that's fine, but you need to know what it's like to go out and cut a tree down and make firewood out of it. You may still have a washer and dryer, but do you know how to actually wash your clothes by hand? Have you ever done it before? Do you understand how hard it is, how much labor is involved? Put out that garden. It's the same thing. I talk about gardening. So many people I hear all the time, yeah, I've got a good supply of them emergency seed cans. And when things get rough, I'm going to go out there and grow food. Really? You understand how long it takes to really refine the art of growing food? Because it doesn't just happen like it is in the movies, where you just throw some seeds on the ground and poof, you have tomatoes and cucumbers and squash. It takes time and skill and a little bit of luck and art into it to actually produce a lot of food. So you're doing that? You may have all the equipment to preserve your food. Oh, I've read books on how to can. I got the jars and the canner, but have you done it? We need to start acting like the world is falling apart, because the reality is it is falling apart. It is. The world is just tearing itself apart. How much longer do we have until it's the final, it's all hit the fan and we're now in like Mad Max Book of Eli? I don't know. But I can tell you this, by looking over what's happened over the last few years, it's most definitely falling apart. How much longer do we have to where you have to use CBDC if you go to buy anything and there's no other way? I don't know. But we should be planning and doing things now to get ourselves ready for when that day happens, because it's going to happen. What are we going to do when you can't go to the doctors anymore? You can't go to the hospitals because you don't have all the stuff. You don't have the proper paperwork. Well, we're not there yet, but we're getting there. And you better start having a plan and actually working on it, acting it out, and practicing it now. You better make sure you know what you're going to do. What are you going to do when the 12 plus million, 15 million illegals that's come across the border since Joe Biden took office, or even more than that, decides to come up your road and do whatever they want to do? You may have a plan for it, but have you actually acted that out? Have you actually trained? Have you actually gone through the motions? You see, all of these things and many more could very easily happen, and they could happen right around the corner. Most of the time, these kind of things happen without much notice. You don't have a whole lot of time to go out and try to make sure that your plan is actually going to work. I talk often about how you need to have a preparedness plan. Well, guess what? There's part 2 to that. You need to make sure that that plan actually works. The only way that you're going to make sure it works is to go out and actually try it out. See if it works. If you have a plan on how to get home when it all falls apart, or how to communicate with your spouse or your children if you're separated when it all falls apart, well, you better make sure that that plan actually works and put it into some action and do some testing and some training with it. Folks, we got to be serious about this. This isn't a game. It's real world. And we got to quit thinking to ourselves that, well, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe we've got a little bit longer. Maybe we've still got a few more years. Maybe the next guy will get into office and change things. Those things are possibilities. They could happen. We could have much longer. Some other guy could get into office and hold things off for a while. There's all kinds of possibilities. But also a good possibility that things are going to get worse soon. And the way everything is trending, and all the movement of how things are going, we have to definitely consider that we may not have as much time left as we thought. And if that's the case, you better get out there and you better start training. You better start practicing. You better start seeing if your plan works, checking out your gear, seeing if you actually can know how to cook with all that food that you bought and put up. Is it even edible? Do you like it? Maybe it needs more salt. Maybe you should go buy some more salt. Just whatever it is, you need to get out there and start practicing. And practicing in a real world scenario, not shooting paper targets, actually really practicing. Get out there and get your body into shape, get your mind into shape, develop those skills, build the muscle memory. Because once it all starts falling apart, it's way too late to be doing that. You need to be in a place that you can just start reacting very quickly. That Minuteman, where when something bad happens, you know what to do. You've already gone over it. Your equipment is ready, your mind is ready, your body is ready, and you just go into action. That's where we need to be. Far too many people, far too many of us, aren't that way in a lot of ways. And it's not until something tragic happens that we realize that it's too late. Don't let it be too late for you, folks. There's many people in this world that hate us for what we are and who we are. And it's time to start acting like it, train like it, practice like it, and prepare like it. Folks, it's time to get your houses in order. Prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.